I wish you could have heard it. The shouts of jubilation and singing through tears of joy when the people came home from exile. Deliverance had come by unusual means. The Persians, led by Cyrus the Great, defeated Babylon and let God's children go back to their country, rebuild their temple, restore their way of life, and try to put things back together. Remember those 613 laws we talked about earlier? Determined not to let what had just happened happen again, some people became obsessed with the commandments, observing them more strictly, even adding to them, heaping up new rules and requirements too burdensome for anyone to bear, and imposing them on others. Some became ostentatious in our appointed feasts and showy displays of vain offerings and over-the-top convocations. Even God himself grew weary of the whole charade, wishing only for the fidelity of our hearts, not our expensive performances of worship. We were missing the point again. Others became complacent and fell back into our old ways. Amid all of it, barefoot and wild-haired, the prophets stood in the highways and byways, raising the alarm, channeling God's wrath, his heartache, his desperate prodigal love, longing for us to return to him with right hearts and pure spirits. The prophets begged and screamed. They tried to make us listen. But by the time Alexander the Great conquered Persia and then captured Jerusalem, their vocal cords had gone hoarse in futility. They faded into 400 years of silence. Silence, like darkness, is an abstraction. It's invisible, untouchable, and when it's coming from God, unbearable. There's a kind of violence in it, a soundless slam door that suggests abandonment. Deus absconditus. Rulers, they came and went. The Seleucids, the Hashmoneans, finally Rome with her onerous taxation and violent contempt. And still, none of it was worse than the silence of God. Until one cold night in the city of David, all of that crushing absence of a divine voice, all of that bottomless spiritual darkness that enveloped the world was shattered by the cry of a baby. A song in the heavens sung to blue-collar third-shift workers in the night, and later their own voices proclaiming the news to anyone who would listen. Hope was finally here. The curtain of the temple had not yet torn in two, but something else was ruptured. Something imperceptible yet momentous was punched through with light and possibilities previously unthinkable. I really wish that you could have heard it. Oh wait, actually, you can. The piercing rapture of that baby's voice cutting through air thick with the smell of straw and barn animals and blood proclaims itself ceaselessly to the world over, inviting you to step through that door first opened by that tiny gasp of breath. It's everywhere. It's everywhere and it's all around you, forever expanding and amplifying the songs of the angels whose simple message was, don't be afraid. We have good news. It's about great joy, and it's for all people. It's for you and everyone you know and everyone you don't know. It's for anyone who's ever been or whoever will be. It's about a savior in the form of the most vulnerable thing on earth, a newborn infant, in the place you'd least expect to find him. Hey, whoever you are, whether you know it or not, he's the one you've been waiting for.